What's up, YouTube? We're finally doing it today. I'm finally reviewing my 2023 Lucid Air Touring to give you guys an owner's perspective about this car. Well, for those of you who don't know who Lucid is, Lucid Motors is a luxury EV vehicle manufacturer. They're pretty brand new, so their cars are relatively rare at this point. Back in 2001, they released the Lucid Air, which is the sedan version that I have here. And fast forward to present day now, they've developed 4 different trims for this vehicle: the Lucid Air Pure, Touring, Grand Touring, and Sapphire. You can find the differences between all 4 of those different trims down below in the description. Take a look at it when you have a chance. Lucid actually revealed the Gravity, which is their luxury SUV, recently in the LA Auto Show. I'll leave a couple links down below to a couple of people who already reviewed it or had an initial review of it down below in the description. Check it out, but at this moment, we're here for this. So I've had this car for around 2 months now. I immediately put 4,000 miles on it. So it's not that much, but it's not that little. So I think it's safe to say that I know the quirks and tweaks about this car. Well, before we get into the car, let's talk about something a little bit more significant. Your key, right? Lucid has their own app. You install on your phone, you link it to the car, and it's basically your key. Lucid does have their own key fob, but let's say it's on the more underwhelming side. It just feels like a piece of plastic with a battery inside of it, which basically it is. But anyways, your key, the app is pretty good. It also has that proximity, so you just walk up to it. It's pretty accurate. As you approach, the car will recognize and unlock itself. So pretty sweet. Open, whatever. There are some things about the app that I wished that it had. Well, first of all, let's go over what it can do. All right, well, so here's the app. It's pretty good, honestly. You have all your basic functions, your frunk, your trunk, your charge port, and lock and unlock. You can also precondition your vehicle. So you have remote control of your HVAC. You can flash your headlights, honk the horn. You have your charge port information. You have your GPS. I'm not going to click that. And you also have this last button, tire pressure information, and your odometer and software version. Now, this leads us to the first thing about this car, which is the electronic powered frunk. Massive, let me tell you, massive frunk opening. On video, you can't really tell how big it is, but honestly, this thing is huge. Like, do you think this is just it? No, it has a wide opening, don't get me wrong. This first level, it's pretty good, but you take this, you lift it up. All right, first of all, ignore that garbage bag. That's just a temporary cover. I've yet to buy the frunk and trunk well covers. Yeah, but anyways, this is just a temporary solution, but massive, massive storage. Now, I know this can cause problems to some people. Like, if this were to be extremely full, where do you put this cover? The only solution is either you put it in the trunk if there's space, or you leave it in the rear seating area. But anyways, this is big amounts of space. Now, for some strange reason, all the videos that I've watched, people actually struggle putting the frunk lid back in. I don't know why. I never understood. So let me show you Lucid owners. Here's the front lid, right? Let me go this. So here's that. As you can see, this back portion right here, it sits longer actually. So the thing you need to do, you line this up, right? You basically jab the back part all the way there. You press down and you just lift. It's easy as that. Now, maybe some of you guys are getting stuck, but there's this thing right here. That's how you know where you put the front portion into it, right? So like, I'm gonna do it again. All right, it's folded, one-handed, right? Jab, push, open, and like I said, those two lips right here, you just, hold on, let me do it again. Fail, there you go. Simple as that. Also, for some of you who don't know, there's a button right here, a nice little light. Press that, and this thing closes all by itself. Easy. Working our way to the back of the car. First things first, let's address this hard body line for the trunk. So if you guys didn't know, the Lucid Air is a traditional sedan, not a hatchback. So that resulted in this harsh, kinda ugly body line. Questionable, maybe not, but the rest of the car looks fine. But then again, you get to this line and it makes it just look like either a Dorito chip has just been tacked onto this or a piece of triangular cheese. But anyways, we're not here for that. For the trunk, there's a button under here. You do not get to see my license plate, which is why you're sitting over there, but it's powered. Really big space. It's deep. Like, I can't even reach the back there. It does have a trunk well. Again, we are greeted with the trash bags as a temporary cover, but it's really decently sized space. You can fit a lot of things in here, but as you guys could probably tell, the opening really small. Not that small, but yeah, you can't fit big things in here. All right, well, I think that wraps up to everything on the outside of this car. I think it's time for us to start going inside of the car. Let's start on the rear passengers, because in my honest opinion, I believe this is the best place to be. All right, so to get in, you just pull the handle and immediately you are greeted with massive amounts of space. Shout out to Lucid for their convenient design for their rear passengers. This door opens a full 90 degrees. Low-key underrated, but super convenient. This comes standard on every Lucid. So no matter what trim you buy, you will always get this 90-degree rear passenger door opening. And getting in, soft close by the way, super spacious. Like, it is crazy the amount of space that you get in here. Of course, any Lucid, no matter what trim you buy, that's probably the same most common reaction you're gonna get from people who sit in the back here, because it's just unbelievable how much space that you get in the back. Because honestly, no matter how tall the driver is or how far back any of these chairs are, you're going to get the most comfortable amount of legroom. Now, as for the features back here, you get a dedicated touchscreen for your climate control, your heated seats. Honestly, these heated seats are wonderful, especially in the winter time. They work extremely fast. They're really powerful. Probably the most loved feature by people who sit in here when it's winter. You touch this little home screen button right here and you can control your rear sunshade. Pretty sick. HVAC, more HVAC right here, both sides. And let's not forget this massive glass canopy roof. What the? All right, let's forget about the canopy roof for now. But honestly, I think the most favorite thing I like about the Touring or the Pure, actually, hold on. As you know, the battery pack for the Touring and the Pure is actually smaller. It's 92 kilowatt hours, whereas anything higher, the Grand Touring and the Sapphire have a 112 kilowatt hour battery pack. And that affects your rear passenger's legroom. Let me show you. So if you guys didn't notice, you have a sunken footwell, right? So here is your little elevation. Oh, actually, that's your rear passenger foot ventilation. This is where your normal ground level is, right? It's about 2 inches? I don't know. But anyways, it's a sunken footwell in the back here. And that actually plays a significant role in the amount of legroom that your rear passengers get. Let me demonstrate. All right, so let's pretend I'm a rear passenger, right? So you open the door, you get in. Let's say it's the first time getting in a Lucid Air. The only thing that everyone's gonna say, this is a lot of room, man. That's the reaction you're gonna get on any Lucid. But since I am in a touring or a pure, for example, you have a smaller battery pack with a sunken footwell. Now let's pretend I'm in a Grand Touring or a Sapphire, right? The one with a bigger battery pack. That sacrifices your footwell to accommodate for the bigger battery pack, right? So if I was in a Grand Touring, my feet would look a little like this, right? Maybe it's a little exaggerated, but you guys get the gist. You would have a flat footwell instead of a sunken footwell. Now, what that creates, let's say I'm in a Grand Touring, right? You see this gap right here? I didn't really like that. This is more comfortable, where your knees and your hips are at the same elevation and you're just sitting, right? Kind of like you're sitting in a sofa, for example, right? When you're at home, you're in a sofa, your legs, your thighs are flat, right? That's what won my heart to get the touring, honestly. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I have frequent passengers, right? 4 to 5 people almost all the time, very frequently. I cared a little bit more about how my passengers' ride quality would be because the only thing that doesn't change is the driver's ride quality. It's because the design across all Lucids are the same, basically. Specifically, I mean the driver's ride quality. Well, I guess you can say both the driver and the front passenger. So, you get in. Love that soft close. But basically, it's all the same, right? Across all Lucid Airs, you're going to get the same 34-inch 5K display, your pilot control panel, steering wheel, whatever. That's all the same. The only difference is the material, right? You can get a leather or Alcantara side, all this touches, the different colors, but that's it. Oh, also the seats are a little bit different, but anyways, the design across all Lucids is basically the same, regardless if you get the ones with a smaller battery pack or the larger battery pack. The difference between the Grand Touring and the Touring would have to be the massaging seats, and in the Grand Touring, they are 20-way powered compared to the Touring's 12-way powered. So there would be a 5th button here in the Grand Touring that would massage you. Also, you would have bolstering adjustments, your headrest adjustments, and I believe there's one more, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's subtle. Things are subtle differences between the Grand Touring and the Touring in terms of the features in the front. So now that we've gotten the differences out of the way between all Lucids, let's start talking about the similarities. So first things first, this cabin is extremely well insulated and it's just more quiet in here. When you're on the road, you hear less noise from the wind and from the road. Also, the thing that complements this car the most is its 21 speaker Dolby Atmos audio system. It is insane what this car sounds like on the road. And because of that, you enjoy driving even more. Like literally there are speakers everywhere, A pillar, C pillar back there, everywhere. And you are just submerged in music, basically. So when you're on the road and you're driving, you're basically just jamming out because you can't even hear the wind or the noise from the road. Now, as of the software in this car, I'm going to assume that everyone knows what Lucid has done. Of course, they developed their own software. There's a ton of videos about it online about the controls. I'm not going to get too deep about it. I think that Lucid has done a pretty decent job. I think I'll leave it at that. They've done a pretty good job. Of course, software, and what that means can always be updated, get upgrades, everything. It's just a matter of time. Now, as of right now, I'm sitting on version 2.1.42, and it's pretty solid. You have everything that you need, 3 different drive modes right here, your side mirror and steering wheel adjustments, front, trunk, lock and unlock, brightness, trip, glove box. It is fine. Everything is conveniently placed. It is fine. Now, of course, maps, right? Maps is a little laggy, but that's not my concern. That's probably one of my least concerns, because I know for a fact that just over time, it will be corrected. They will fix it. Lucid knows what they're doing. Fine. They get a thumbs up. Now, of course, Lucid being a relatively new company and the Lucid Air being their first production vehicle, pretty solid. I believe the Lucid Air is a pretty good, solid first car, which gave a really good impression for Lucid Motors. Now, because it's a brand new company, like I said, it has a long way to go. Let's start with the list of things that I wished Lucid Motors implemented for the Lucid Air. Now, first things first, let's start off with something on the app, right? I wished you could precondition your battery for supercharging on the app, because this one time, many times maybe, my battery was really low, but it was so late at night that I wanted to charge the next morning, right? But guess what? I couldn't precondition my battery for supercharging from the app because it just doesn't have it. I was like, what? Now, conveniently, I live relatively close to a supercharger, so it takes around 20 minutes for Lucid to precondition the battery, but it's only like a 5-minute drive from where I live to a supercharger. So every morning, it's not gonna warm itself up to a optimal temperature to prepare for supercharging. That's one thing. Another thing is, I honestly wished that when you clicked defrost, let's say for example that your car is frozen, or my car is frozen, right? Because I parked it outside and it's winter. When you defrost the car from the app, it only defrosts the front windshield. I was like, wait a minute, but my whole car is frozen, dude. So those are 2 things that I wished that Lucid would implement on the app. Now, as for the car itself, software-wise, something from Tesla, you guys could probably guess it, Sentry mode. I honestly wished they had some sort of system to record your surroundings all the time. When you drive, when it's parked, it has 360-degree camera, but it doesn't have recording? ? Anyways, as I've heard from Tesla, they store the videos that the cameras record onto a USB storage, right? Lucid has a USB slot in the center arm panel, wherever you call it. I was like, that's something that you can just put in there and then you can store all your videos at. Why won't Lucid do that? It would be so convenient. I don't have to worry about putting a dash cam in there. And the one thing is that most dash cams power from your cigarette port, right? Your 12-volt port. The 12-volt port in that car is in the trunk. See what I'm getting at? So if I were to buy a dash cam for this car and you stick it up on your windshield, you would have to feed and route the wire all the way to the back of the car. Now, for those people who care about hiding the wire, for me, for example, I care about it a lot, actually. Why didn't I open it? So that means you would have to feed the wire from here around the center through the canopy roof all the way somewhere hidden along these interior panels all the way to the trunk of the car. I was like, what? And that was basically it, honestly. A really short list, don't get me wrong. It's only 3 things. The recording via the cameras, Sentry mode, whatever. You have the controlling the precondition of the battery on the app, and also activating the rear defrosters. Honestly, I don't even think that should be an option, right? Because if you press defrost on the app, it should automatically defrost both your front windshield and your rear windshield. Yeah. But after that, I think that's all I have for this video. So if there was anything that you guys wish that I looked over or I shared my thoughts about on this car, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe in the future I'll upload another video about how I feel about the public charging network and some other things that I think about, or based off of you guys' comments down below. So till next time, I guess I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.